Welcome. This is the Wood and Work podcast. Today, I'm your host. It's Paul from JTR Builds in the UK. Please make sure you leave us a review on any Audible platform that you are listening on. Once we hit that magic 500 reviews, we will have a nice worldwide giveaway. Also, please feel free to reach out on any social media platform with any questions or comments, or indeed you would like to be part of the podcast. So today, we have Matt Black Furniture from Australia joining us as a guest. Thank you very much, Matt.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
No, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. If you could just tell our listeners who it is you actually are, whereabouts you are in the world, and the sort of woodwork or what it is you do.
Yep, sure. So, based in southern Tasmania. So very, very south Australia, I suppose. In Cygnet, so it's a little sort of seaside town. Small community type thing. Lots of sawmills in the area, which is always good. I've been woodworking for about 10 years. Started just doing stuff for family and friends, and that's just escalated. So now I'm taking on commission work from all over the place, really. It's keeping me very busy. This is only my side gig as well. This isn't my full-time job. It's probably going to be soon if things keep going the way it is. But yeah, that's basically what I do. Just any sort of furniture, signs, CNC work, anything like that, basically.
All right. So are you pretty much self-taught? You said obviously if it started off as a hobby or a side gig, are you self-taught in that sense?
Yeah, pretty much. My father was a woodworker in England, Derbyshire. He's based, and he used to make old English longbows with yew and whatever. So he's always been sort of dabbling in it. So I've sort of taken over from that.
Oh, so you've actually emigrated out to Australia from the UK?
Yeah. So I've been in Australia for about 10 years now. And then I was Derbyshire, born and bred.
Well, that's because you've definitely got an Australian twang of an accent for sure.
Yeah, it's strange because my friends say that I have when I go back, and then when I come back from England, all of my workmates over here think I've got the English accent. I'm somewhere in the middle, I suppose.
Yeah, multilingual.
Yeah.
So I'd seen recently, I think it was probably a couple of months ago when I first started seeing you, actually, you were involved in quite was it a big sort of fair or something in Australia where?
Wood Dust. So it's Australia's biggest woodworking sort of event. TimberCon was the main sort of sponsor for that. So I do a lot of work with TimberCon. So they asked me to come on board, and I was very happy to do that. They had Jimmy DeResta and April Wilkins and Matt Esley from England, who I've watched Matt since pretty much since he started doing anything on YouTube. So yeah, it was good to meet him.
So what exactly is this Wood Dust? Because obviously, with me being from the UK, even though I've heard about it because the good old world of social media, it's not something that I actually know about or. What is the event exactly?
Probably just a woodworking event. It's got all the suppliers and any woodworking tool companies. They all go along. They all have their own sort of stalls, and then they have live displays. So they got myself and a few of the other sort of Instagram, YouTube woodworkers to sort of go along and jump on and do sort of live things in the background. And we had challenges and stuff. So yeah, it was pretty fun. It was a good experience, and I learned a lot. And it was nice meeting all sort of like-minded people, and it was awesome.
Yeah, so I suppose it's probably going to be very similar to what we have the Maker Central in the UK.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I mean, I've never been there. It's not something that I get involved. Maybe I'll have to go next year now. I've started on social media a bit more. That maybe I should go and show my face. But yeah, it seems like a very good. You say you've got like the big names of people like DeResta there, which is going to be quite a bit of a one-off opportunity to meet. Because it's
exactly,
yeah. So I'm just going to apologise to all listeners. We actually have a slight delay on the audio here today, so that's why it might sound a little bit disjointed at the time. We have a bit of a 3-second delay, so me and Matt are both trying to work off audio only and just looking into the distance sometimes. As we're trying to watch the camera, it's really off-putting, but that's why there might be the odd little pause today here and there. Um, Talking of pause, I'm actually downstairs in my lounge for change today, and I keep having the dogs keep popping his head around the corner. So one of the kennel boxes is by the patio window, and he just keeps peering around like this with his head, and it's quite funny. The little the youngest one, who's quite a character. So anyway, back to the actual topics that we are covering. So you said you like to make, or you tend to make like furniture pieces and some CNC work. What's the sort of stuff you enjoy making?
Just one-off things. Anything. I'm really random. Like I'll see something. What did I see last? Like on YouTube, Pask Make. He does all the cogs and all that sort of stuff. So I've seen him doing all that. So I wanted to dabble at that. So I've been knocking up the cogs on the CNC and having all like that sort of thing. But like normally, with client work, it's always just sort of furniture signs. Sort of came into the equation recently after I got my CNC machine, because it just opens up a whole new world. But yeah, so.
Well, that's it with the C. I mean, I've only got a tiny 3040 thing, which takes about 5 weeks to carve even one letter. Do you know what I mean? It's a proper hobbyist bit of fun thing. I haven't got room for a CNC. But that's the old topic as well of it's quite a debate in the woodworking community. Like, is it even really woodwork anymore? Because especially with things like, again, you've got things like the Glowforge now coming into the system, which is a fabulous laser cutting, and it's opening up the doors for people that aren't necessarily, I'd say, joiners or carpenters or that sort of thing. But it opens up the doors, because if you could design something on a computer and then you can tell the Glowforge or the CNC to do it, it's sort of almost transversing and converting people from the world of digital products into a physical product.
Yeah.
And I'm all for it, because I do think it opens up a lot of doors.
Oh, definitely.
And possibilities. Because I mean, you said about you cutting some cogs on your CNC. I mean, try to imagine. I mean, people would have done it. Don't get me wrong, but just cutting them all out by hand with like a Japanese pool saw or something would be, 5 weeks per thing. So things like the signs as well, because rather than having to hand carve your lettering. So, do you work with epoxy then as well? If you're carving signs,
I do a bit of infilling with epoxy. I've done a few tables where I've done the company logo, and then infilled it with a clear epoxy or a slightly tinted epoxy. So not so much on the signs though. I'm not sure how well the epoxy will go in the Australian sun. I don't know if it will last. It might fade out, I was thinking, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah, well, the other problem as well with the heat, if epoxy gets too hot too quick with thermo reaction, whatever it's called, that can really make a big difference as well, can't it? I mean, I think
cracks
yeah. I mean, talking about the heat though as well, when you're saying about being in the outside sun. I mean, actually, it's very warm in the UK today. It's like 25 degrees already at lunchtime. It's
nice.
It's killing me. But nothing for you guys out there, do you know what I mean? But yeah, because was it? I think it was Cam from Blacktail Studios a while ago. He did like a slab of epoxy, and he put it out in the sun, and he basically made like a river curve table.
And he re-straightened it, and
so is it? I mean, it might have its benefits, but yeah, I wouldn't be very impressed if we paid all that money for an epoxy table, went outside, and it looked like something off the Mad Hatter's Tea Party from Alice in the
just chip.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So what? So you say at the minute, obviously, it's a part-time woodworking hobby. I mean, I don't like calling it a hobby really, because obviously, seeing your pieces that you make on your social media, you're far from the hobby stage, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? You're definitely knocking out professional quality pieces. I mean, obviously, if you're getting commissions, you are hitting, that sort of market. So is it just evenings, weekends, whatever time you can potentially get away from?
I've had a lot of time off. It started around COVID because I was doing a lot of working from home. So I got more time at home. So I was in the workshop more, and it just sort of grew from that. But I suppose it's not a hobby because I built my own workshop. So that was when we built the house 5 years ago. The first thing we did before the driveway or anything was done is I had a purpose built workshop. So it's sort of extreme hobbyist, I suppose.
Yeah, but but you say with all these commissions, you're sort of thinking that you may go full time into the woodworking.
That's the
scene.
idea. Definitely, that's where I want to be. It's just a really hard transition from going from full time work, getting paid each week and everything else, and not having to worry about it too much, to go into, oh shit, what happens if I don't get 3 commissions next month? Or it's just a big leap, I suppose.
Yeah, and that's a problem with any sort of self-employed thing, is because like you can be, it's one of those things where when it's good, and when it's shit, it's shit.
Yep.
And as you say, all you need is for one client to say not pay you, or they change them. So if you've got that blocked, that piece is going to take you 3 weeks, you block it off in the diary, and then they change your mind for whatever reason before that piece has started. You're then in, well, what how do I get me money in for the next 3 weeks, aren't you?
Yep.
So I say, yeah, a lot of people do struggle with that. But if you don't try, you never know.
Exactly right. And this is sort of the easiest way of sort of transitioning, I suppose, into it. So I'm sort of at the point now I'm sort of tossing up if I could go full time or not. But yeah, we'll see. There's a few things in the works. So I reckon maybe the next year or so.
Yeah. So what, in the pieces you've done up to now, what's been your favourite piece that you've actually made? Not necessarily the best piece you've made, but the one you've enjoyed, and when you've looked at it, you're like, really.
Probably my last dining table. It was a blackwood double slab top, and the slabs sort of just overlined each other slightly how they lay, and I left a bit of the sapwood on either side, so you could definitely see that they were both sort of slabs. I don't know. It's another conversation I was having at Wood Dust with a lot of people. Is it easier to mill your timber and have a usual sort of tabletop, or is it easier to do slabs? And I personally think slabs are harder than milled timber, because obviously you've got to work with what you've got. You can't take too much off. It just sort of complicates everything even more. So but no, that was definitely the most complicated piece I've done, and I think it looked pretty good. So yeah, I was happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, I've only done a little bit with slabs. I mean, the table I've got this on at the minute is actually a piece of bookmark spotted beech with an epoxy river table. I've only done the top. I've not made the legs yet. I could actually show you the big pile of beech I've got for making the chairs behind me, but I can't because I've got the stupid banner on me on the podcast as my backing. So I don't know how to turn it off. If I press anything, it'll go. But yeah, I've got a big pile of spotted beech making all the chairs and stuff there. But yeah, I know what you mean. I quite like working with slabs though when I do, because you say that one of the ones I quite enjoy watching doing it is Four Eyes Furniture.
Oh
they
yes,
put theirs on YouTube, and likewise when Simon does, is it Simon? Simon Instant does, because they've sort of split the channel slightly now, haven't they? Because of their logistics, because they've moved parts. But I've really always Sean. Isn't it Sean Boyd?
Yes,
Sean
that's
built
the one.
this.
Yeah,
Sean built this. Is it Chris at Four Eyes? I think
that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. But either way, I mean, both great channels. But I love it when they do pieces because of, I mean, I find their humour that they, when they're explaining about a piece, I quite enjoy their humour about it all. But I enjoy the process of watching them, how they do it, and they very much form over function, I think, almost with their style, and they make use of the natural part of the wood, which I really like, because you're showing, if you get a really nice slab and it's got some nice figuring to it and some burls in it, or it's got a weird shape, and they might have a split in it because it's been hit by lightning or whatever. If you make something out of that and feature it, opposed to cutting it into boards, milling it, and making a flat top, because
exactly
you're hiding that, the character. What Have you got? You said you got a couple of things. Have you got anything sort of like big builds planned or upcoming that obviously you can share? Because obviously sometimes you can't share because of you've got to be got to respect clients' privacy at all times. But yeah,
Yep.
have you got any sort of like interesting projects or pieces you're planning in the near future?
I've got a lot for myself that I've been meaning to get to. We're one of those. I've got a, where is it, 7 meter long macrocarpa pine post that's, I think it's 400 by 200. So it's a huge post, and I want to make a nice big A-frame that goes over the front of my shipping container. I've got a shipping container full of wood, but the wife doesn't like it because it's a shipping container and you can see it from the house, sort of thing. So she wants me to make a screen. So I figured I'll make this huge, big barn door that slides. So you'll slide the door over, and then you can open the shipping container to get into it. It just
Ooh.
So there's that coming up, which would be for myself. And then I've just got a bed, a queen size bed commission. I've not done a bed before, so I thought it would be good to sort of try and get that one on the website just to show that I can do it. But I've sort of taken the commission on and never built one, so it'll be interesting.
I've not made a bed. Again, I've got a bed planned. If I'll end up ever getting around to doing it is another matter. I mean, like going back to this table, I've had this table now, and I think I finally got round to pouring the epoxy at Christmas last year for the tabletop, and the tabletop's just sat on the old IKEA table frame at the minute. We've had the timber for doing the chairs and the actual frame for over 2 years now. Easy, that's it. In my lounge, drying out.
Yep.
I think that's the problem. That when you're doing pieces for yourself, they never seem to happen. Or they take a
No,
lot
they
longer
get put
to
on the
make.
back burner, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, it's one of those things where, I mean, I love making stuff, but then it's, if you're making it for yourself, although it is great and I loved it and I love doing it, and I'll actually sort of like, I made a lovely chest of drawers, which I spent 60 hours on. Because I made like all pattern ply forward faces for all the drawers.
Oh,
So
nice.
obviously an awful lot of labour involved. It's about 60 odd hours in it, in all. But the problem being, if you're also going to charge that out as a commission piece, it's a £3,500, 7,000 Australian dollars
Yep.
for chest of drawers. Those sort of clients are few and far between.
Exactly. Yep.
So it is one of those sort of things where I do those sort of pieces for myself. But the problem by taking that on board and starting them, you're then blocking off your workshop for say 2 weeks. So
Yep.
you can't then do commissions. Which then if you're not doing commissions, you're not earning money.
Yep. It's a catch-22 sort of situation, and hey.
So I mean, because I do quite a bit of not so much this year due to me shoulder injuries, but I've always done a lot of domestic and site work because I am a qualified joiner. So I do a lot on site, so to speak, or at clients' houses or whatever. When I say on site, I do mean clients' houses. I don't work on commercial sites because I just don't like it. And the good old because my qualifications is City and Guilds, which a lot of us in the 40s plus joiners, they're no longer valid. You have to have an MVQ, and I'm not paying $2,000 to have some kid tell me and I'll to hang a door because they've outdated my qualifications. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so like coming up now, I'm in the final talks with a couple of my clients. I can bring a fitted wardrobe. I'm starting next week.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'll make all the doors here. I'll make the carcasses and I'll use the lamello. So effectively, I'll make it as a flat pack, and then I can just turn up to site in the client's house, and then everything goes together within half a day because it's been pre-made here. Because like my workshop, I say, is a double bedroom. That's my workshop.
Yep.
And then I've got a nice big. It's not really a media wall, but it's a media wall that I'm doing next. The job after. So yeah, that's just in talks at the minute. So that'll be nice. But it's not really a media wall, because obviously a media wall is very much built in with like TV built in, and then you got floating shelves. This is more like units either side of the fireplace, but it's not a chimney, so it's more of a that sort of thing. So what I like to do is when I've got these sort of jobs, is I'll then film a workshop and do things in my workshop,
Yep.
because do you know what I mean? So I can have everything glued up, because like most of us, we're always very limited to space. So moving on from that, as obviously as a woodworker, joiner, whatever you want to put us under the umbrella we're going to put ourselves under. I mean, I always like sort of pushing myself, as you say, you've not done a bed yet, so you'll be trying that. I always like learning new techniques and, trying new totally things that are totally out of the normal.
Yep.
Have you got any plans for sort of, apart from your bed, which again, as you say, that's going to be another learning curve?
Hmm.
Is there anything that you're sort of thinking that I might have a go at, say, carving or getting a lathe or?
Yeah, I've been looking at these portable mills, because I thought it'd be pretty cool. At the minute where we are, we've got a lot of native trees and whatever around us, and the industry. I'm a consultant arborist by day, so I'm in the industry and I can find the timber. And so I was thinking, if I get a portable mill, like I could, instead of chipping all this blackwood or whatever, and like I could take my mill out, mill it up, and then stack it somewhere and let it dry. And so yeah, I've been looking into these big mills that you just basically tow around with your car, pull up to the side, it does it all. They look amazing. So we'll see.
So one of our regular, I'll call him regular because we had him on a few times actually. Jerry from Grantland Timber.
Hmm.
I think he's Surrey way, Devon or Surrey,
Yep.
or down south in the UK somewhere. So he's got a big lot of land, and Jerry is very much into his forestry side of things,
Hmm.
like the rejuvenation of the land, and he's very conscious about the climate, the ecosystem and the climate and all that.
Yep.
Really interesting lad, actually. But we were talking the other day, and he has actually got a couple of portable mills.
Hmm.
So it might be worth having a look at his page. I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
I know he's going on holiday in a couple of days' time. But yeah, if you reach out to him on Instagram, he'd definitely be able to give you his 2p's worth on the stuff he uses, and he's got.
Yeah.
He's got
Yep.
he's got a smaller one, and I think Nick James Design as well. He's a Newcastle lad. Nick's a very talented furniture maker, and he goes out and he's got. I'd say it's very much a portable one where you use a chainsaw to on some
Oh,
sort of
like an
sliding.
Alaskan mill setup.
So he's got like very much of a smaller portable one, and he finds all the things in the estates. He takes the trees down and then he dries them, and then down the line he will
Hmm.
actually then make a piece of furniture, like you're saying.
Yeah, nice. The full process.
Yeah, but Jerry's got a couple. He's got a portable one. He said, if I remember correctly, but he's also got a big one where it's enormous. It's still mobile, but
Hmm.
it's like a full-on towing job. And then he's
Yeah,
also
nice.
got another one, stationary one, in his mill.
Yeah, okay. Jeez. Hmm.
So he's got quite a lot of because he's got a lot of land. So he likes doing. The dogs have seen something. They're all running around, looking up at the air now. So they're all running around loose in the kennels in the back.
Oh, yep.
But yes, yeah, but that'd be yeah. So I definitely, if you sort of, I mean, obviously you know what you're doing, because obviously if you're an arborist, that's exactly what you do for a living. Is
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
sort of the felling of trees. I've got down pat, sort of. But the actual milling process, because it's quite an artwork from what I've been looking into. It's like you got to stick it all and stack it all right and make sure the airflow is right. And yeah, so it's that side of it will be new to me. But it's a learning curve, and yeah, it'd be good.
Well, I think it'd be quite good for you as well to say, especially if you're effectively. I know you've got to store it somewhere where you're drying it all and everything
Mm.
else, but effectively you're getting free wood, because you're
Yeah.
destroying it when you're
Yep.
taking it out of the job for whatever reason you're taking it out of, whether it be for it's a damaged tree, or you're clearing it because the client wants it gone or whatever.
Yep.
Rather than sort of saying, let's put it through a chipper and make some stuff for playgrounds, you can take it and turn it in and repurpose it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
That's another thing. Actually, one of my other friends, David Woodturning, he loves getting all the really bits of damaged, shitty wood that everyone would always kill and just throw in the bin, and they are beyond gone. He then sort of like reworks them with resin, and he turns some amazing, beautiful vases, bowls, and all that sort of thing. So yeah, that's I think it's always good to say learning new things and whatever, especially with art. But yeah, hopefully I'm also going to be going out to Jerry in next month for the month after, and we're going to. He's got a big old sycamore tree, I believe, and I'm going to help. That's an inverted commas there for the people that are just listening. And we're going to fell the tree.
Yep.
And then we're going to mill it, and then I'm going to take a piece of that tree away with me, and once it's dry, I'll make something of it. And I just thought, of it, from my point of view, it's really interesting because I normally get the slabs when they're dry. So I don't know how to take a tree down.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think it's a bit more special as well when you can do the full circle with it.
Exactly. Yep. You know where it's come from, and yeah, exactly.
So I think that'd be definitely a good thing for you to look into. And but I suppose like anything, because those mills aren't cheap, are they? They're not,
but they're not. Mills. It's not too bad. There's a certain company I found, and it's I think it's like 15 grand for the base model on a massive trailer. Yeah, 15 grand's a lot of money, but how much do you spend on timber? Like if I spent that sort of money on timber, within 6 months, so it's sort of going to pay for itself within a couple of years. It's paid for itself. That's what I keep telling the wife. So
yeah, I don't think it quite works like that, but but yeah, the thing is, you can be waiting 3-4 years for a piece of wood to dry, so it might not work. Do you know what I mean? But long term, I mean, obviously, because if it's something you're going to stay into and go into, as a full time down the line, at least you've got that option there where you're sort of investing in the future, which I'm a massive advocate for.
Exactly. Yeah.
At the end of the day, without tools, we can't do what we do.
That's it.
And again, you need to learn the skills.
Yep.
So I think we will call that for today. So I will leave Matt's Instagram and social media's website pages in the description down below, so you can reach out to him, especially if you've got a commission if you're over in Australia. Again, any questions, you can either reach out to myself on any of my social media platforms. Also, I'm sure Matt will more than happily take any of your questions.
Sure.
Please don't forget to leave us a review on any social media platform that you are listening it on. And again, thank you very much, Matt, for joining us today and taking time out of your Saturday evening.
That's it. No worries at all. It's been good.
Cool. All right. Thanks very much, everybody, and we shall see you next week.